This is the mourning chapel erected by King Louis XVIII to Marie Antoinette's memory. But during the last days of her life, this was the Queen's cell.
The country's last queen, Marie Antoinette, born on this day in 1755 and infamously died by guillotine during the French Revolution in 1793.
Marie Antoinette's name is forever linked to decadence, scandal, and revolution. The Queen of France met a gruesome end at the guillotine, but her life was equally dramatic. At just 14, she was sent to marry the future king, Louis XVI, a stranger she was expected to love. As France spiraled into chaos, she was blamed for the nation's suffering, falsely accused of saying, "Let them eat cake." But was she truly a heartless queen or just a victim of history? Stay until the end to uncover the truth behind her downfall and the myths that still haunt her legacy. Born in Vienna, Austria in 1755, Marie Antoinette was just a teenager when she entered a politically charged marriage with the future French king, Louis XVI. As the daughter of the Holy Roman Emperor Francis I and Empress Maria Theresa, she was used as a pawn in the complex web of European diplomacy following the 7 Years' War. At only 14 years old, she was sent to France to wed the Dauphin, Louis, grandson of King Louis, in May of 1770. Her Austrian heritage made her an outsider in the eyes of many French citizens, a stigma that would follow her throughout her life. Her marriage was complicated by Louis's reserved nature and lack of attentiveness. By the time he took the throne in 1774, Marie Antoinette had withdrawn into a close-knit group of companions, seeking comfort and distraction. Her most trusted confidant during this period was the Princess de Lamballe. However, her husband's indecisiveness and political inaction forced Marie Antoinette to play a greater role in court politics, particularly as the French Revolution loomed. Though her influence over state affairs has often been overstated, Marie Antoinette attempted to support key figures such as Etienne François de Choiseul, but with little success. Financial troubles in France worsened, but the Queen's personal expenditures, while extravagant, were not the primary cause. She did, however, use her position to assist her close friends, such as the Comtesse de Polignac. Marie Antoinette's reputation suffered immensely due to rumors about her personal life. In the early years of her marriage, Louis XVI's failure to produce an heir led to whispers of infidelity. Her enemies spread malicious gossip, suggesting she had taken lovers, including prominent members of the court. These accusations peaked in 1785 with the affair of the diamond necklace. Although she had no involvement, the scandal painted her as deceitful and indulgent. The controversy tarnished her image and provided her critics with ammunition against the monarchy. Ironically, by the time of the incident, she had settled into a more traditional role as queen and mother. She had given birth to her first daughter, Marie Theresa Charlotte, in 1778, followed by her son, the Dauphin, Louis, in 1781. Her second son, the future Louis XVII, was born in 1785. Yet despite these changes, the damage to her public perception was irreversible, fueling the unrest that would ultimately lead to the fall of the monarchy. During the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette supported Jacques Necker's reinstatement in August of 1788 and agreed to grant the Third Estate double representation. However, by the time the Estates General met at Versailles in May of 1789, the Queen had become a scapegoat for France's turmoil. Though she was not directly involved, many believed she aligned with the reactionary faction led by the king's brother, Charles, Comte d'Artois. Further damage to her reputation came from slanderous accusations by Louis-Philippe Joseph, Duc de Orleans. During this period, her focus was elsewhere. Her eldest son was gravely ill and he had passed away. While Louis XVI struggled with indecision, Marie Antoinette emerged as the stronger, more resolute figure. After the Bastille fell on July 14, 1789, she urged her husband to take refuge with his army in Metz, but he refused. In the following months, she encouraged him to resist the Revolutionary National Assembly's efforts to dismantle feudalism and limit the monarchy's power. As tensions grew, she became a prime target for revolutionaries, fueling the myth that she had dismissed starving citizens by saying, "Let them eat cake." By October, the royal family was forced to leave Versailles and move to Paris, where they became prisoners of the revolution. Many of her closest allies fled France, but she remained, displaying unwavering courage as the monarchy's downfall accelerated. As Louis XVI hesitated, Marie Antoinette took a more active role in secret plots to free the royal family. In May of 1790, she sought the support of Mirabeau, a key National Assembly member who aimed to restore the crown's authority. However, she never fully trusted him, and Louis rejected his suggestion of civil war, fearing the consequences. When Mirabeau died in April of 1791, she turned to loyalists outside of France. With help from Swedish Count Hans Axel von Fersen, French aristocrat Louis-Auguste Le Tonnelier de Breteuil, and royalist general François-Claude Amour de Bouillé, a daring escape was planned. On the night of June 20th, 1791, the royal family attempted to flee Paris toward Montmédy, near the eastern border. However, revolutionary forces intercepted them at Varennes, ensuring their return to captivity in Paris. Following the failed escape attempt, Marie Antoinette sought to salvage the monarchy by secretly negotiating with key constitutional monarchists in the Constituent Assembly. She turned to Antoine Barnave and the Lemeth brothers, who aimed to curb the growing influence of republicanism and bring the revolution to an end. Their plan, championed by the Club of the Feuillants, centered on revising the Constitution to strengthen the king's authority, after which Louis XVI would formally accept and uphold it. They had hoped to convince exiled royalists to return and prevent Marie Antoinette's brother, Emperor Leopold II, from launching a counter-revolution against France. Despite working with Barnave and the Feuillants, Marie Antoinette remained distrustful of them. Though she outwardly supported Louis XVI's acceptance of the new constitution in September of 1791, she secretly warned Leopold II that she opposed their policies. Instead, she urged European powers to intervene militarily and restore royal authority. Her covert dealings undermined the Feuillants' diplomatic efforts and failed to deter the exiled aristocrats from pushing for more aggressive action. When France declared war on Austria in April of 1792, her continued secret communications with her homeland fueled public anger. The people's resentment culminated in the storming of the Tuileries Palace and the overthrow of the monarchy on August 10, 1792. Marie Antoinette spent her final months imprisoned in Paris, where she suffered immense personal losses. Her devoted friend, the Princess de Lamballe, was also arrested. When Lamballe refused to denounce the monarchy, she was brutally killed by a mob on September 3, 1792. Her severed head was placed on a pike and paraded outside the Queen's prison window. In January of 1793, Louis XVI was executed by order of the National Convention. By August, Marie Antoinette was placed in solitary confinement in the Conciergerie, awaiting her fate. On October 14, 1793, she was put on trial before the Revolutionary Tribunal. 2 days later, she was taken to the guillotine, where she met her end, forever marking her as one of history's most tragic figures. The story of revolution and defiance in 18th century France is complex, and historians continue to interpret it in different ways. However, one thing remains clear. Marie Antoinette's role in the revolution was largely symbolic. To the revolutionaries, she embodied everything they despised about the monarchy and the privileged aristocracy. She and her inner circle were seen as indifferent to the struggles of the people, disconnected from reality, and even disloyal. Accusations of treason and adultery fueled her vilification in the public eye. Regardless of who she truly was, the image of Marie Antoinette became far more powerful than the woman herself.